Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as Roixon. Wow, that's the first time I've ever stumbled that, I think. And anyway, I'm joined as always by friend and co-host.
Rowan, you might know me as the guy who usually messes up, but not this time.
Hey, I took that away from you this time. You're welcome, or I'm sorry, whichever one is more appropriate.
It's my identity. Anyway.
Hi, this is the Game Corner. We practice identity theft.
Neat.
Big allegations. Y'all, it's a slow week. It's a slow time for Pokemon news right now, so we're heads up. Short episode.
Which is why we are going to do what every other media outlet does in the world.
Stretch it out.
Make things and go entirely off of unsubstantiated rumors for like 30 minutes. That's how the world works.
I refuse. So if y'all are active on Twitter/X or any social media that's talking about VGC stuff right now.
I think it's Zitter.
Zitter. Ooh, Zitter.
Yeah. I hate it, but I've decided to go with it. Yeah.
Like
I also hate the website, even though I use it so much. So yeah.
Okay.
Might as well have a name that evokes disgust.
Immediate side tangent. Has Twitter become unusable for you? Like, I can't scroll through Twitter and just see the things I want to see anymore. I see anything from porn bots to random ads to just random, like, honestly, like, I don't know, like, it's just, and then every so often I'll see someone from the VGC sphere and I'm like, hey, content I care about.
I've talked about this before, but I absolutely love that the porn bots are actually using just like the worst AI, but enough AI to attempt to put themselves into conversations. Like,
oh, that's the
and then just interrupt it with the my Cricketune in bio. Like, it's wonderful. I actually just gain a lot of joy out of that. I don't know.
Okay, there is like, yes, there is a part of me that's like, wow, this is so bad. I enjoy watching this train wreck. Yeah. But then there's part of me that's like, I want to use Twitter the way it's supposed to be used, not use X the way Zitter has it going now. I want to know what the auto captions are going to call Zitter. Like, it probably Z-I-T-T-E-R.
Just with a Z. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not changing it. Y'all.
Anyway, on as far as Zitter rumors go, we spent a lot of last episode talking about pretty much confirmed changes to the championship point system, and we have gotten, and they are like 100% confirmed now because the locator is naming everything challenges and cups. That is happening.
Yes.
We still don't know the payouts or like the rest of the invite system that will apparently come out Friday. Like, little grain of salt on that date, but
yeah, I think I actually heard that from you. I don't know if I saw it.
Yeah, we don't take that too seriously. But I mean, it's either Friday or Monday, right? Because the season technically starts July 1st. Friday is the last weekday before July 1st, and then Monday is July 1st. So we could hear on either of those days is my assumption. Like, you could technically have an event scheduled on July 1st, right? So
right.
It stands to reason that they do it on the last business day before that. But the other thing that is like the two rumors that are going around that seem to be substantiated by people that I generally trust is that we're getting a limited number of invites, like a top X.
Yeah, so that's the spot
that we're and B, that we're reducing BFLs.
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about the top X thing. I think that one just entirely depends on the number, right? Like, generally what it is that the scene has just grown immensely, right, since COVID. And we've talked about this, like, regionals are 800 plus people, to the point where regionals internets are effectively the same thing outside of the payouts. Right. And the scene just has really, like, all of our infrastructure has really struggled to keep up with that. We're still basically running it like we used to, just like with more tables, and it's a pain. And so, like, Worlds on top of that, right? Worlds is always in the most expensive places on Earth, and if they don't know how many people are going to be there, that's trouble, right? So I guess I can see why they'd want to have a limited number of slots, but it really depends. If they do top 128, then that would, for reference, we had 211 people qualify from North America in this past season. If you do 128, that is a massive cut. If you do 256, then that's even a little more lenient. So, like,
it would really suck to be like to have the 128 slots and to be 129, 130.
Right.
I have 700 CP.
Can you imagine being tied with the guy for 128? and you came after him in the alphabet or something, like
Yeah, it would be like rock, paper, scissors.
yeah, I don't even know how
sudden
that
death.
would work, right? Yeah, maybe they'd allow a 129th person in that case, right? I don't know,
Yeah,
but
but that's wild. I mean, I agree. I guess I do see that it would make some sense to have the limits for like logistical reasons, but if they don't have a high limit, 256, then it really puts a damper on
yeah.
all
And
the
you'd
players.
probably want to have a different number based on what region, right? Like
Yes.
NA has always had this higher CP threshold they have to meet because there's more events here. That also means there's more people here, more people competing. I would imagine that we'd have a higher number of slots available to us than the rest of the world would. But in addition to that, what we've heard is lower BFL, best finish limit. In the past, you could have up to 6 regionals, as many internets as you wanted, 6 MSSs, 6 PCs. That's a lot. That's a lot of tournaments. There are a lot of people who made it to Worlds this year. Not to discount their achievement, they're like very skilled players. But I personally know several people who have their invites who never day 2'd major. They just got a bunch of 6-3s and 5-4s, and that was enough if you go to everything, right? So if you have that, like, if you lower the BFL to say 3 or 4 regionals, then suddenly only the people who like actually place well are going to Worlds, which in my opinion, you should go to Worlds because you're good and not because you have a huge travel budget and unlimited free time, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely want to agree with that, right? Like the whole point of Worlds is that it is the best competition. It is the hardest competition, right? It's the best showcase of skill.
Yeah, and as far as where you want to put the cutoff bar for the best, right? That's up to interpretation. But how you decide who is even in that cutoff, like how you decide who's ranking in that, is important. And like, yeah, so yeah, we don't know what the payouts are going to look like, but at least I think a lower BFL is really good for that. So and I think that the lower BFL actually synergizes really well with top X, right? Because if you had a cutoff bar, if you had a threshold, you'd make it so that like that would be that's I think I like accidentally called out Geo because in like several weeks back, maybe even like this was like pre-NAIC even, Geo made a post saying like we should, like, we have a quantity over quality problem, we need to lower BFL. In my mind, that was, we have too many bad people making it to Worlds, and I was like, this is elitist. But what he might have been, what he was actually, like what other people told me he was saying, is that we have a quantity over quality problem, and that people are allowed to go to so many tournaments, and then like you can just pay your way in.
Yes.
And I think if you combine this with top X, it means that it doesn't matter if you only get 200 points, so long as the other 255 or 127 people got less than that, or as long as you're in the top X number. It doesn't matter that you didn't meet some arbitrary threshold, you were just the best number of people. Like,
yeah, so wait, do we think that's what it's going to be? Like, there's not going to be a limit, it's just going to be the top X number of people get in to Worlds?
Well, yeah, I mean the top X number, whatever X is.
Right, whatever, but there's no threshold.
Yeah, there won't be a point threshold. It'll just be the top number, like top whatever. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that actually makes sense to me, because if it was all 3, if it was you had to have 500 CP, you had to be the top 256, 128
no, in this case, it's one or the other, right? Either you make it minimum 500, or you make it top 128 or 256, right?
Maybe that makes sense.
I think it's better that way, right? Because
it'll definitely spark more competition.
Yeah, it means you just have to play well. And it also means that if you get, let's say the BFL is 3 regionals, right? If you get 3 good regional performances early in the season, you don't have to wallet warrior for the rest of the season. You can just stop. Like, you can say, okay, I got 3 top 64s, and that's great for me. I'm putting my money on that's good enough. The end. And you'll go play some locals, and that's it.
And you can watch it, right? Like, you can go on to Play Pokemon's website.
You can see the rankings. If you're starting to fall behind, maybe you go to a couple more to like upgrade one of those to a top 32. But like, it means that you don't have to go to everything. You don't have to like keep your eye on the ball the whole season. And like, arguably, you wouldn't have to do that with 500 with the bar. But 500 CP was such a high number that you pretty much had to play all season. Like, unless you had a fantastic breakout performance.
Right. Right.
And in my case, even if you did have what I thought was fantastic, like, regionals didn't pay out that much, so like you still had to like keep playing.
I was totally gonna say like, even
unless you literally
your back
won,
half was great. Yes.
So yeah, there's that. The other like kind of elephant in the room is IC payouts though, like international challenge payouts. If they don't have a BFL of 1, they need to make it so you can only earn points from a single IC. Otherwise, you're still in Wallet Warrior territory, right? Because
if you can go to multiple ICs and you can do well, then you're gonna get a boatload of points from those.
If the limit is anything more than 1, then you are, and you really want to make worlds, you are obligated to travel to Europe or Latin America. That is, or if you're in one of those places, NA. Like,
yeah, you have to go to.
It's just the reality of it. And you know, like if you have the money, awesome. Like, oh no, I have to go take a vacation to London. Like, great, but that is expensive. So
yeah. I mean, yes, right. Like I wholeheartedly agree that you need to limit ICs to 1. Now, the same thing applies, right? If we go to the first, let's say LATAM is the first IC of the season, and you perform top 64, right? But you're like, I can do better, and then you still need to go to.
Yeah, then you still can.
You still can. You don't have to.
You should be able to go to as many as you want, but that should just be a chance to do better and not be added on in addition to everything you've done so far. You shouldn't be able to farm it, is the whole point, right?
So on the same note, right, we have some people, not naming names, but they definitely sound like Wolflick, who wins multiple things, right?
Wolf was had earned his invite like within the first couple months of the season. Correct. Right? Like he's going to all these events because he likes to compete, which is really what should be motivating people in the first place anyway, right? But there are no other like outside of the cash prizes, there is literally nothing to play for besides an invite. So I get why people are so motivated by it.
Yes, but so with people who, and there's more names than Wolflick, but like people who do really well, who are regional and IC champions. What if someone competes at LATAM, gets first place, then comes to NAIC and then gets first place, right? Like how that would kind of just take that win away from someone else, right? Is that how that works?
I don't know. Get good, right? That's kind of the.
Okay.
If someone's able to win 2 ICs, then I don't know, they deserve the accolades from that. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I guess you would be partially disincentivized to do so because it does not change your standing.
Exactly. It takes a lot of like the perfect storm of you prepped your brains out and you got very, very lucky on the day. Like,
or your name is
not even in terms of not even in terms of RNG. Even Wolfglick has not won 2 ICs in a year before.
Yeah,
right?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yes. 2 regionals.
I don't think anybody has. Yeah, Wolf's the only one to win 2 regionals this time. Like,
yes.
But yeah, so like the chances of it happening are microscopic. But if they did, I feel like you just kind of have to clap.
You just
move
have
on,
to. Yeah. You just take those points away from someone who could have gotten them. That's part of the game, I guess. Right?
Like if you already got first at an IC, would you be that motivated to do the necessary prep
I also
to get
feel
first
the answer
at
is
another
no.
one? Yeah.
No, right. Again, super disincentivized because you can get the prize money, sure, that's reason to play anyway, but then like you're not gonna get the thing.
And if you have to travel internationally, that prize money probably only like kind of puts you in the green, right? Like
yeah, it's
you win what I think you win like $6,000 for winning an IC, and then it probably cost you 2 to get there and back.
Was it only 6? I thought it was.
I think it's 6 for first. Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind then. That's not even worth it.
Yeah, maybe 10, but I think it's 6.
I
think 10 is for Worlds, isn't it?
I am looking it up right now because I'm very curious. I don't know where this is. VGC Championship Series. Show me prizes. Show me the prizes. But besides that, okay, internets. Oh my gosh. Wait. I was gonna start saying words. Oh, this is TCG. VGC internets is $15,000.
15,000. Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's a decent motivator.
And also 72 booster packs. So
I saw a really cool idea on the TCG side. Maybe VG players wouldn't care, but I think all Pokemon fans want any kind of exclusive merch. Was to make cards that are only given to people who get top whatever at an event. Because those cards would then be worth something, I think.
They'd be worth a lot of money. That would be
Like
that'd
make
be
it
quite,
so only like the same way they do the little like the mats for top 8, right?
yeah.
Extend that, like make the mats top 8, give a little trading card to top 32 and a different one to top 64 and a different one to top 128 or whatever. Like
Yeah. That'd be something, and then again, that would just be more potential prize money if you didn't want that card. The 5,000 was for Pokemon Go, first place at internets. And then just to sweeten the pie a little bit here, TCG first place for Masters is in fact 25K. So, you know,
we're in like low level decent esports here. That's actually pretty cool.
we've definitely had this conversation at the beginning of this season.
I think we did when they upped the prizes. Yeah, I don't know.
About a year ago.
I'm not winning that much money from this game, so that
no. Oh man, that'd be funny. But yeah, so that is. I don't know.
I put my 750 check on the fridge. Like that's.
Oh yeah, you actually. Well, you did win some money.
I won some money. Yeah. I did a digital deposit, and then it's magneted to my fridge.
Are you just gonna? You should frame it and like this is my winnings.
This
is TCPI's bank account number
from Mr. Pikachu. Like
yeah, there you go. You should get like, I don't know. I have to imagine there's, if not a card that exists already of this, then someone could make a card of like Pikachu and a Monopoly Man like hat and like monocle.
That's
and, like,
not too far off the truth. Honestly.
Yeah. It has to be
a more realistic depiction of Pikachu than anything else. Just very, very wealthy.
Or get a card of Bodengo, just all money. Anyway, that's very funny. That's the best material that I'm going to have tonight. So look forward to that for the boring rest of the episode, guys. Is that all we have for Pokemon? Like, seriously?
I mean, well, we could talk about Inky. Inkay.
Oh, okay. I recorded my week 1 match last night. I started to edit it this morning and just cut it up, whatever. But
real quick for context, anybody who doesn't know, we talked about it last week. There is a spin-off of the Malamar games for people who are not JOUX9 tier content creators, called the Inky Games, and both Harrison and Sheldon are playing in it this season.
Yes, and I think in my recording I said both Inky and Inkay several times. So
it's so awkward to say, but I think Inkay is correct.
Like, I will continue to say both.
This is the same company that, like, in the anime, just Pokemon, like you have to pronounce the K in everything. Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure they force the casters to do it too. Like to the point that I think they go out of their way to not say the full trademark word. Yeah, you can't say Pokemon. That's wrong. It's got to be Pokemon. Pokemon.
Yeah, Rosemary is like she really
she's spot on. Like she's their golden child, but like I think a lot of people just don't want to do that frequently, so they simply don't.
Oh, they just don't say the name. Yeah,
there's a lot of funny stuff like that. I think Rajan was doing his interview, either after winning the whole tournament or after winning a match, and he was just really excited and like wanted to. He had discovered Miraidon effectively, right? And was like so excited and talking to the casters about about making his team and about the decisions in the game. And at some point he's like, yeah, and I killed this one. And it's like, wait, am I allowed to say that? I was like, no, you're not, but you're excited, so like we'll let it pass. It's like,
oh, that's amazing.
You
I
have
love
to say knocked out. It's not
knocked out.
Kill is not acceptable. None of them die.
There is like you catch on to a lot of the Pikachuisms that they force casters to say as soon as you know what it is, and then every time you watch a stream they're saying it, and you realize it
is kind of a hilarious distinction though, right? Like there's like an ancient MS Paint comic from like ye old internet days, whereas like Gyarados using Hyper Beam on a Pidgey, and they show like a Dragon Ball Z-esque energy beam going up from like the scale of the Earth. And then like Pidgey fainted and just falls over
with like a crater around the Pidgey, but then the little piece of land where Pidgey is just gone, knocked out. Yes, I reckon I do know that one.
We might have
maybe if I remember,
we might have hung out in the same rotten circles of the internet in high school. I don't know.
Maybe. I was a different person back then. But yeah, so on the note for the Inky Games, Sheldon and I will be putting videos up on the channel. I know he had his match. I have my match already, so we're in the process of editing those. Look forward to that.
I would like to cast these, and it really comes down to how much you guys have a stomach for me being mean to you in retrospect. So.
Oh, I mean, for content, it might be worth it. So the thing is about that, and so you mentioned that right before recording. We're talking about a little bit about stuff before. We can't speak. Talking a little bit about things before recording. I know. I want to speak good and make things with speaking good, but I don't speak good, so my things don't sound good. Anyway, I think it'd be fun to do. I did post in our Discord like stuff, like just an idea that I had of like maybe Sheldon and I can talk about like just that week, right? The process we went through. And then I mean Rory can be there too, right? I'm not trying to exclude you, but like that's the thing that something, right? Trying to do another little video, again, like 10, 15 minute, 20 minute video after the week, after we posted our videos, might be cute. You casting over them, also a good idea. Is that gonna be good with like my like train of thought, mental commentary, than you talking over me in a video? Like
I think it's gotta be one. I think it's gonna be one or the other. Right? We can alternate. We'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, I think we will talk about this because this is a very fun idea, and I want to do something. I want to do something with it.
Yeah, you can send me the raw unedited footage like some weeks when you don't have time to do your own commentary and all. I hope are you doing commentary like live as you play?
I'm doing it as if I'm live on Twitch. Yeah, that's how I'm doing it. The same way like Kevin does his videos. So I'm thinking out loud, which is terrible. I made. I mean,
I can't play that way personally. Like I think that might be why I did well in Malamar last year, was because I was playing full focus and then I'd record after the fact and like explain my thought process later. And I think some of the guys who are very, very good players were trying to do the live commentary.
Yeah,
it makes it a lot harder, I think.
There's definitely something to it. Like I like even last year when I was doing more stuff on Twitch and like even doing some battles and recording, I would speak. I'm speaking out loud, but then I have my thought of like I'm making content. I have to speak. I have to have my train of thought, and I have to pull that train of thought and put it out there. And also, what move do I click here? I did in this week. I didn't run out of time on any turn. Close. I did get very close. But the whole time if I'm not speaking, I'm at least thinking very loudly, and I need to check that in the VOD. But I'm thinking through stuff, which is kind of nice. But I recognize before, like when I was Twitch streaming about it, like I do play a little worse when I'm speaking.
It's definitely a skill. Like it makes you respect Cybertron even more, right? Like
absolutely. Like, and honestly, like it would be a fun thing to develop and work on. So I do think I want to continue to do that. I also don't want to go back and like try and think about what I'm thinking of during the thing. Like, yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. But you can always like just mute me, right? My recording, my track is separate than the game track, right? So we have options. So we can figure it out.
So before we move on from this, do you want to give us a little spoiler? Like, what was the theme? What was your team like?
Yeah.
Did you do anything fun with it?
I tried. So the theme was cool colors. Which I very excited to do cool colors. So I'm like, ooh, Palafin's blue. Blue's a cool color. I want to build a Palafin. So I had the idea that I was gonna take Palafin and kind of build with it, but Palafin by itself is not good, right? Like it's very one-dimensional. It's water type Pokemon doing water type damage. Good, right? That's kind of all it does, which is fine. And it has options with not bullet punch, jet punch, right, for speed. So yeah, I built around the Palafin a little bit. Which means I had to put things that support Palafin or can just take care of things that Palafin can't take care of. So I tried, and I did not put a lot of time into building this team, and that shows because I make the dumbest mistake during the match during game one, and I freak out on camera, at least in my mind. Which is very fun, and I do want to see what that looks like looking back on it.
But externally, it's just you. Like we can just see you screaming in your eyes, right?
You probably can, and also like, oh my gosh, I've made the biggest mistake. I've worked this up so bad. So then I game two, I have to make an adjustment that I think was going to work well, but honestly, my opponent's team did exactly what it was supposed to do, and I will not spoil what that is. I did learn that what color do you think Fluttermane is?
Purple?
That's what I thought, right? Because when I posed, no, it's gray.
Which is not a
gray,
cool color.
Not a cool color. And I was like,
did your Fluttermane get DQ'd at match start?
So my opponent was nice. I went up against Talon Master J is his handle.
Oh yeah.
He was great. He was like, oh hey, I don't think it's allowed. And I was like, hold up, I thought it was purple. And then I looked at the thing, looked at like Bulbapedia, and it's like, it's gray. And I'm like, you're kidding me. So I had to make a very quick adjustment. And what's really funny is we exchanged the team sheets, right? Because we had closed team sheet open Terra. So I saw his team, and then he's like, "Oh hey, Mischievous, Fluttermane's not legal. Can you just go ahead and change it? Like I won't say anything. Like it's not a big deal. Like I want you to queue for this." I'm like, cool, great. So then I'm like, I can't counter pick him because that would be the biggest dick move. So I went with a Pokemon that like I kind of thought like I would have thrown this on this team anyway. It makes sense with what I went. I took back Excalibur, and I wish I did something different in team building. I had a different option that I wish I went with, which was effectively his team.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch this myself then.
I got stomped. Again, his team did exactly what it was supposed to do, and I did not have an answer to it.
All right. Well, hit me up. We'll team build for your next round.
We're talking about it in Malamar.
Okay. In the channel. All right. I will. Yeah. I'll give some thoughts.
And by talking about it, I do mean I said, "Hey Sheldon, do you want a team build?"
Oh no, I saw that. Yeah, no, that isn't really talking about it. And we'll figure this out.
So next week's theme is Regulation G, not top 100.
Ooh,
that's
no. Wait, how many restricteds are not in the top 100?
There's a few. There are a few. Okay. I don't want to say what they are yet.
Okay, you're gonna have to give me a list. I'm not looking all that up, but I'll help you if you give me a list.
No, it's a pain. I started talking with Rich a little bit about it because he's doing it too.
Oh, Rappa, he's playing there as well. Awesome.
Yeah, so he hit me up for last week, and then we're talking a little bit. He kind of helped me start with the team, and then it was anyway. Arbok's not good. Anyway, he sent me some stuff that I think is going to be potentially a good starting point, and we'll go from there. My match is Friday night. So I have just like
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we got this.
All right. So is that everything for Pokemon?
We've talked way more Pokemon than I thought we were going to this episode.
Yeah, that was impressive stretching it.
Yeah.
All right. So final thing, other games. What have you played?
Okay, not a whole lot. I've not had a lot of time to play games. I've been watching something though. I've been watching Game Changer on Dropout. Beck and I have gone through all of Game Changer now, so 6 seasons.
What is that?
We watched it in NASC. I
was out of it. Yeah,
that's probably true. So Dropout is what College Humor became, and then it's just all like improv sketch comedy shows.
Oh, okay. No, this isn't a video game though.
No. It's a show.
Okay.
Yeah. Which it's game related. But that has been my what I've been doing in most of my spare time, which has not been playing games. But you have something that you told me before recording, which is super cool.
I usually keep my MMO addiction to a minimum on this section of the podcast because congrats, Rowan, you're playing the same game you've been playing for like almost 15 years now.
Okay, but to your credit, you did just say, "Hey, I'm back on this" after not playing it for a while.
Everybody who isn't aware, I am addicted to Guild Wars 2. In and out, there's no subscription fee. Slight plug there. It's pretty cool. You can take a few years off and come back if you feel like it. They have a new expansion coming out in less than 2 months. August 20th, I believe, is the date. And the big thing for this is they haven't had player housing in the game yet, which is wild for an MMO that's this old and still doing well. But the big news for that is they hired the either lead director or lead developer of The Sims to head this up,
which is pretty cool. Like of all the heads to hunt for such a thing,
and it's so they PC Gamer was given an exclusive look into it, and so the PC Gamer interview / like they were given an account with all the stuff unlocked to play with.
Oh,
it
that's
looks
cool.
so cool. Like you can. Like they have a very fleshed out system for placing like any any decoration, you have like a full all of your alternate characters are hanging out in your home instance now.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah, all of your other characters that you've
That's
built
cool.
up, they're wearing the armor they're currently wearing, they're dancing around, they're riding on the other thing, a stable for all of your mounts that you've collected throughout the game are hanging out here, and your alternates will jump on your mounts and ride them around, including the flying ones.
So is the player housing in like an instance like island?
Yeah, so
thing?
Final Fantasy 14 apparently does this in a different way, in that there are like non-instance neighborhoods, and you have to like apply and like get on a wait list and win a lottery or whatever to get a plot of land to build your house on. So like the cool thing is the community aspect of that, and that like you have a neighborhood and you have actual neighbors and their houses next to yours and you see them or whatever. But the downside to that is, yeah, you have to apply for a slot, and if you're not active enough, you will be evicted. Apparently, in Final Fantasy 14, which is wild. No, it is a private instance that your home is in, but you can invite other people into it. You can even give them permission to build inside yours.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, if you really trust your friends.
Sure.
And they have like the system for it is any like decoration item, whatever you want, can be scaled up or down, rotated in any way, and overlap with anything you want and be stopped at any point. So the PC gamer guy made a from scratch, looked beautiful, like a full lighthouse and a whole neighborhood of houses, and they were just constructed from like various panels and pieces and statues and whatnot that were available, and you have access to everything in the game, like statues that you find in various maps and pieces.
Oh, that's
so
really
there are
cool.
hundreds and hundreds of these pieces you can play with. Like it makes Animal Crossing or The Sims or any kind of building game you can think of look tiny, because this is an MMO with almost 15 years of content.
So they're just reusing all those assets,
and they're just letting you use any asset you want. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of the video looks wild. Yeah, all the and like anything you have access to in your account is available. So like any legendary armor or weapons or whatever, you can create a statue of your character wielding any of those things and pose them however you want and put them wherever you want. They had 2 expansions ago was boats and fishing. So if you have any boats, you can put them in the river, like around your house. If you put water in your instance, you can then put your boats on that water.
Oh, can you kind of like terraform?
Yeah, I think there is some terraforming available. Yeah, so it looks so cool. I'm excited, and like obviously that is like the kind of thing that can be infinitely expanded upon. So this is gonna scratch my the New Horizons itch I had over the pandemic. Was
yes.
I think I still have a map of my island somewhere. It was just perfectly horrifically symmetrical. Like it was like with like roads and intersections and staircases and parks, and everything was laminated with clear paint so that nothing could grow or I didn't want it to. Like
I need you to give me your dream ID so that I can visit that island.
Okay.
Because I want to see it.
I'll at least I'll have to boot it up. I think I did actually manage to transfer it to my new Switch. Yeah.
Oh, good point. Yeah,
my house is full of cockroaches because I don't play the game anymore. But
sure,
that's fine.
I actually did boot up Animal Crossing like a few weeks ago because I was like,
all of them are like, "Why did you leave me?"
Yeah, so like
Timmy died in a well and you weren't there to save us.
It's been so many months since you last. I'm like, yeah, I know. Anyway, here's a shirt. Like, be happy again. Okay. And then I had to kill cockroaches. But yeah, because I had that itch, right? That Animal Crossing. I was like, I want the new one so bad. And I know.
So the problem with New Horizons is like they had the whole thing because they wanted to make it friendly so people with only one Switch in their household could all play on the same island. Great, except I have now filled up every square inch of my island with stuff that is valuable, and you've released several expansions since. So there's tons of like Mario content drops with like warp pipes that actually work.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, I know, but that was still like 6 months after I stopped playing. Like.
That might be true.
And they kept doing it. Like they kept releasing more and more content, and I had no motivation to play that new stuff because where am I going to put it?
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm not deleting my island. I put too much work into that. So the answer is I just don't play the game anymore. Like
stand still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never got to that point that you're at with my island. Like there's always something else I wanted to do, and I never sat down and like as much as I kind of wanted to make a master plan of how I want to build this island.
No, that's exactly it. I've made the master plan and I executed, and then that was it.
Yeah, mine not so much. I had enough pain in getting all my rocks into a rock garden, and then I was
I did do the rock garden.
That is a lot of work. in and of itself, which is just more of a pain, but still. I think I did it with pillars. I didn't do like the laminated floor. I just put literally a checkerboard of pillars around my island because they won't spawn next to a cliff. So it was terrible. And I was like, this is not good. But 6 days later, or if you time traveled, you had your rocks in place. And then you had to go and tear down all those pillars of sand that you put up. Anyway, that's super cool. Player housing in MMOs has been a thing that has just existed for so many years now.
Yeah. It's a really modern take. I'm kind of happy that they waited so long because now it's going to be good and like yeah. And they're
sounds really cool.
They're translating the feature. So they've always had a building system in guild halls for a while, but it was really bare bones and just kind of like it was hard to maneuver, and you only had access to so many doodads and decorations and whatnot. And now they're just going to translate it over and let you do the same thing to the guild hall that's shared by your guild, which I'm pretty excited about too.
Yeah. And these plots of land must be sizable to have a river big. And a stable. And...
It looks pretty big anyway in the preview video. I don't know.
Sure. That almost makes me want to boot up Guild Wars 2 and play my level 10 character that I have and just see what it is. At this point, your level 10 character probably has enough birthday gifts to just level him up to 80, like immediately. Maybe. I might check it out. If I can even remember what my login information is, but I know what email it is at least, so there's that. I had some friends in college who played the game a lot. They tried to get me into it. I couldn't get into it, and I could not tell you why.
It was
I love that.
It's a specific itch, and also it's become a different itch over the years too. Sure. Like they've changed it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the idea of like, because again, I've played MMOs like since freaking RuneScape and MapleStory, in like 2004 or whatever, and 3, to WoW and New World as of late. That was like 3 years ago. So like yeah, I always had this itch, but I don't know what it was about Guild Wars, especially like MMO and like the exploration part of Guild Wars, like that's stuff that I would like, but I don't know why I didn't like this game. Anyway, that's really cool. I can't wait for you to have that and then talk about it.
And then leave you guys for like 6 months. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we probably won't see you for that time, so well, that's fine. And so what is that? In December we'll talk to you again?
Yeah. Okay. It'll probably take me about two months to work through that. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I think that's enough for an episode.
I think that's a short podcast. I like it though.
Yeah. And we can save other topics to talk about in weeks coming up because it's going to be a dry
There's definitely a bunch of good games coming out soon that I want to play. So
yeah, good point. We could also have a deep dive into Paper Mario later too, because
I'm working through it very, very slowly.
Yeah, I'm in chapter 2. I am not very far.
Yeah, I think I'm in 3 or 4 now, so not much further than you.
Okay. That's like when I do have gaming time, I'll go back to that. That's actually the game that I should say for anything else. But that's for another time. But for now, I want to say thank you to RobKTA for the use of our theme song Goldenrod Game Corner off the Ultraball album. I'm Harrison. You can find me at row_ixon, and I'll be uploading some videos on this channel sometime soon. I am contractually and legally obligated to do so because of these games.
I'm gonna sue you if you don't.
All right, sounds good. Rowan, who are you?
I'm Rowan. You can find me on Zitter and Rowan W Hall, and that's pretty much it.
Oh, I love it. And together we have been the Game Corner. You can find us at the Game Corner VGC on Zitter. And more importantly, all of our stuff is down below. Our Discord, our Patreon, our various projects. I really hope that Riverside will delete that sound you just made.
As it turns, cognac and mango juice is the drink of gods. I'm enjoying this a lot.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
But that's all fine and dandy. And until next time, press start and game on. Bye.